We are now over halfway through the legislative session. What are some of the bills you want constituents back home to know about?
I really want constituents to know about the low carbon fuel standard. It is a tax on your gas. If you are driving, you are going to be forced to pay this gas tax that does nothing for the environment. It's a product that's made overseas and sometimes in Brazil rainforest, and it forces to have the rural people pay the most. So if you're driving to school, if you're driving to work, you are going to pay the most of this tax and you're going to be the burdened. This is something that the voters have put down and said, stop charging us for these carbon tax. And yet they're going behind your back, they're breaching your trust, and they're forcing you to pay for this tax.
There was also a check the box presidential primary election bill passed. You have concerns with this proposal as well.
This bill moves the primary election for the president from May to March. That's great. But what this bill does is it forces you to check a box. Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? You don't have a choice anymore. And then that data is sold to the parties later on. That's not right. That forces people into a box and it takes your information. You should not be forced to make a decision when you vote.
And lastly, you have concerns about healthcare legislation that is still alive and moving through the legislative process.
This is called the Public Option Bill. And what this does, it's the first in the nation, and it takes people who currently have insurance on the market and it forces them into a state-ran public option. The problem with that is they're paying their providers 30 to 60% of the cost. So that means you're going to have a cost shift, and a lot of your doctors don't want to take this option. This is not socialized medicine. It's the train that causes socialized medicine. This is frightening, and unfortunately, I know what it's like to take a sick, feverish baby to a doctor. Now you're not going to be driving 45 minutes. You could be driving 2 hours in a rural area because no provider will take this insurance. I am very concerned.